Goal, what a win. Does that feel like a giant step towards that top 4 place?
Absolutely. I'm very happy for the 3 points, first of all. Secondly, very happy I helped the team with the goal. It was a long time I didn't score. And it's always good if you score at home with the fans, with the family I had today as well here. And but the most important is the 3 points. Was a 50-50 game in the second half, my opinion. We didn't start well, or we started well, and half of the second half, United was pressing us and did much better than us. But we take the 3 points today.
And that's why your goal was so important. It's a decent way to score your first goal of the season. That was a rocket.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to score against United. It's not my first one against them since I'm here. So yeah, very happy.
Glenn Hoddle called that a net buster, which is nice, isn't it? But you got off to the perfect start with that Tavares goal. That gave you that impetus, that the high energy that Arteta was looking for.
Absolutely. He told us that he wants to see us the first 15 minutes, to take the fans with us, to press them, to try to score, and we did. But yeah, we have today many balls we lost, very easy. But to win 3-1 against this team, United, is very important and give us a lot.
You went 2-0 up. There was a lot to work out then. Nketiah got goal offside, then the penalty given. Saka scores. He's ice cold, never in doubt. So he's come on, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He feels very confident if he takes. And if someone wants to take it and he's so confident, take it. He scored now twice from the penalty pot, and very happy.
And as you said, United were coming back. Ronaldo goal gives them some impetus, but then the missed penalty, that's a great gift for you, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's not the first time we score and we concede straight away the goal. It was against Chelsea twice after 5 minutes, so they maybe after 3 or 5 minutes as well. We have to be more clever to keep maybe the first 5-10 minutes to be more strong mentally and not to be, I don't know where. But they missed the penalty, helped us a lot, of course. And I think with a 3-1 after the game was finished.
Great, mate. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done indeed. Look, and he's right to pick up on things that weren't perfect, and we'll talk about what Mikel Arteta would have taken out of that game. But in terms of the timing of his goal and the importance, they were under the cosh at this point, weren't they, Arsenal?
They were, and there's been lots of misgivings about this player, and I've been quite critical. But today I think we must stand back and say, 2.5 years ago, 60,000 people booed him off the pitch here. And he just will not go away. And he stood up today and scores. I mean, that just turned the game. Of course, the penalty miss is significant, but even now, it's there for the taking for Manchester United to get back in. He just decides, do you know what? I'm going to hit this from distance. And you know that he can do this. He should be doing it more, of course. It's his first goal of the season. You could say De Gea there can't see it, but I think he's stepping round.
He's offside.
He's stepping across Lindelof as well as the Arsenal player.
I think it's a great strike here. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic strike, absolute arrow. But if you go back to that shot where De Gea is looking around the player, surely he's interfering with play. He's standing in an offside position, the striker.
Yeah.
De Gea leans round him. It's got to be given a look. Watch this. Look, he's absolutely in line with De Gea. De Gea reaches round him to have a little look. He leans.
But is Lindelof not just as equally blocking that?
The first player in front of him was Nketiah, the Arsenal player, who's offside.
Yeah, but he's got that screen in front of him. I don't think he's getting near that.
It doesn't matter if he's getting near it or not.
But why does VAR not intervene?
But it doesn't matter if he's getting near it or not. If he's having to lean round the player that's standing in an offside position, can we get Peter in, please?
Yep.
Where's Peter?
Peter is on standby. And just for the record, we messaged the current Premier League goalkeeper who said that goal should have been disallowed because
100%.
he was leaning so far he'd never get in.
United, by the way.
Who did?
The player you spoke to.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, maybe.
Didn't he?
No.
OK.
Let's hear from Peter now. Peter, just share with us what you think as a referee when you see that.
Well, yes, Rio's right in terms of the interference. The offence is committed if the opponent interferes with the line of sight of the vision of the goalkeeper. And you can argue he's looking around him, but also Lindelof is there as well. And I think it's a bit of an angle here where you can see he begins to look around, and it's Lindelof who actually, when the ball struck there, is it Lindelof? Is it? Well, how do you know that as well, Rio? So the point is,
there's one player. It's the person who's immediately in front of him. Surely that's the player you're looking round.
Well, no, because that play is not necessarily in his line of sight. It's in his line of sight, and the VAR has looked at it. He's looked at various angles and decreed that it's actually Lindelof who protects the ball rather than Nketiah, and therefore the goal stands. But yeah, there is a train of thought that says that it was Nketiah. But when you're looking for that clear evidence, bearing in mind the VAR's got that clear evidence, I'm suggesting they've got this one right.
Peter, because Lindelof is there, of course, he creates that element of doubt. If it's just the Arsenal player, then you might say, OK, is he looking around him? But when you've got two players there, and one of them is the actual defender, then it's a grey area.
I think United today could feel hard done by many decisions that have gone on today. The referee.
We'll have a look at another one.
About the handball.
Just to be clear on that one, that isn't the reason that United lost the game today, and it is a subjective decision, and we will never take subjective decisions out of football. But let's have a look at another moment that I know has frustrated Rio Ferdinand today. You cleared it up very well during commentary, Peter, when you said that it's simply the laws of the game is the reason why a penalty kick wasn't given here. So could you just explain it one more time? Because there's a lot of conversation on social media about it.
As they go down, look, his arm's extended out there to save him from falling onto the ground.
No, come on, man.
Well, let me finish the law here, Leo, because the law is quite specific. It does say if the arm is there to prevent him from falling on the floor and the ball strikes his arm, it cannot be a deliberate act. Now, I, as a referee, don't know the intention of the player. All I can do is go on his actions, and his actions there is defended by the law, because the law says the ball strikes his arm as he's falling over to prevent himself. It cannot be a deliberate act.
He's outside the box.
Can I say something? He's not trying to stay. He's not trying to prevent himself from falling. He's trying to stay up to keep himself going, to stay alongside play, so he can be an obstacle of getting towards goal.
You could say
means
that,
the ball goes with his hand.
I actually think
if he was falling, sorry, Martin, if he's falling, he takes with his one hand and then falls over.
It's subjective, but I think if we look it back, I think it's outside the box, Rio.
You're falling.
I think maybe
if we could just freeze it when it touches the player's arm, which is.
He's in the box, mate. It's in the box.
No,
it's in the box.
I'm not certain.
It's in the box.
The whole ball in the box.
His hands in on the line. It's in the box. Look.
Yeah, you're quite right. If there was an offence, I don't think there was, but if there was an offence, the ball strikes the arm is on the line is part of the penalty area, therefore it should be a penalty kick if it's seen as that. But again, I'm not hiding behind the law, I'm quoting the law, and the law is quite specific, and the referee did the right thing.
I just don't think it's consistent. I'm not sitting here saying Man United would have won or should have won the game. I'm just saying decisions like that lead to frustration. And if I was in that dressing room, I'd be sitting there going...
I think you can say that if the referee gives that, VAR is not going to intervene on that.
Probably. Peter, thank you very much. But just to be clear, that isn't the moment, again, where United lost this game. There's a myriad of issues with Man United, and those aren't the...
Yeah, I, as a fan and football and watching football, I get frustrated when I think decisions should have been given another way. And I just feel that today I thought the referee and VAR probably got far more wrong than they did get right.
Okay. Well, in a minute we will focus on the football. We'll have a look at the specific reasons Manchester United lost the game and Arsenal won the game. But that man was the man who was celebrating today. A really brilliant result and a brilliant week for Mikel Arteta. Let's now hear from him, because he's with Des.
It was a crucial game for us after 2.5 days to recover, which is nothing after a big performance and a big win at Stamford Bridge. We wanted to do it again, and we knew how important our people is going to be, and the atmosphere that they created. It really make it happen. I'm a big believer that everything is energy, and today that ball doesn't go in, and we had moments that we needed some luck. We did it. The energy again that the players play with, in my opinion, is to that, and the spirit that we have in the team.
There were 3 unlucky VAR decisions against us. Another handball decision in the first half that was, for me, clearly a handball situation inside the box. And I think Cristiano's goal, we watched it ourselves on the bench, was not offside. But anyway, in the end, we have to deal with it and cope with it. As I said, improved performance, but disappointing result.
Nobody was expecting us to beat Chelsea and maybe not United. But these 4 days give us a lot of confidence. You can see the team is alive again. We won't. But it's not enough. We have still 5 games, and we have to keep pushing each other to be there we want to be.
Yes, huge back-to-back wins for Arsenal. Ian, El Neni caught your eye today.
Yeah, Xhaka was magnificent. Odegaard done his stuff again. But El Neni, for someone, you have to say, the last time he played before the Chelsea game was December the 2nd. You know, he came in today, dependable professional, he never lets the team down. And most passes today, you know, and most possession won from them. He just gets himself in this kind of position. He's the kind of player that he's very good on the ball in these situations. Eddie should do better there. You know, he gets in this kind of situation. He wants to pass forward. He wants to do... Man United could have done better, and I'm sure Al's going to go into that. But he's somebody that kept the ball going, kept Arsenal going, and then you see again, there's Odegaard was there to clean up and get himself in this kind of position. Look at Odegaard there doing his stuff. And then El Neni's just in that position there, bam, just unlucky, good save. from De Gea. And then once again, gets himself in this kind of position. We need to go forward. That's what needs to happen. He's got the opportunity because Man United could do better, but then bam, gets out there. And I believe here as well, Tavares comes and just curl that into the far corner there. He's just a little bit lacking a bit of composure. Gets this one, gets it back to us there, gets us back in that last third where we need to be. And once we get in here, he wants it again, but no. Once we go into the box, goes in. Once it comes out, look who's there, getting ready to pounce. Bam. Xhaka, and this was brilliant. Delighted for Granit. Granit's done well. Super stuff. Yeah. You know, he's the kind of player, he may leave, but he's the kind of player, you come in when you haven't been in for that long and putting in performances like that, two of the toughest games is meant to be, and it's been magnificent.
I think Mikel Arteta agrees with you.
Absolutely.
Now, Alan, you'd have thought after what we saw in midweek against Liverpool, and admittedly Liverpool were magnificent, but you know it was a pretty abject performance from Manchester United, that they'd have come out the blocks quickly today. Added to the fact that there were a new manager announced in Erik ten Hag, but first half, particularly, second half they were much better.
Yeah.
First half they were completely flat.
Couldn't agree more. New manager, been battered off Liverpool. Changed personnel, left Harry Maguire out, so I'm thinking there's going to be a bit of a response, certainly in the first 20 or 30 minutes, and there wasn't at all really. Within 3 minutes, you've got 3 big mistakes. You've got a mistake from Varane and Telles. You've also got a mistake from Dalot, who lets Tavares go. If you see him there, ball comes in, there's 2 players miskicking it, and already he's lost his man and the 1-0 down. Pressing. No organisation, no pressing. The understanding of when or how to press is zero in this Man United team, probably because they can't do it or they're not working at it at all. Arsenal were very good at it. They've got, so within 3 passes they've gone from their own box straight up the other end. Same thing again. Look, it's so easy for Arsenal. 1 goes, that's not good enough. If you go, you have to go as 4 and 5s to try and hunt the ball back. It's far too easy. Balls are played in behind and all of a sudden you're into the back 4. Yes, Arsenal was sharp at it and very, very good in their passing. But look, a mistake. There you go from McTominay. It's brilliant. That should be in the back of the net. But that all comes from standing off and allowing Arsenal to play. Same thing again. You've got Matic, Sanchez, ball straight through the middle of the... and again, you're into the danger area. Crisp passing, but as I said, there's just not the understanding there. All right, ball goes in the back of the net, but that's the VAR, they get the penalty. But it's all because they don't know how or when to go, and they just can't do it. What they're doing on the training ground, I don't know, because it doesn't look as if they're doing much in terms of the press, because I said they just don't know how to do it.
Bit of VAR controversy to look at. A number of incidents. Off you go.
Well, this one, I feel that if that's outside the box, he probably gets something. He showed some unbelievable pace there, Elanga, but look at that, look. You're probably going to get a foul outside the box. So if I'm at Man United, I'm a bit hard done by there. And if you give that one now...
If you're giving that one, you've got to give the other one. Yeah. I don't think either were, to be honest, because I don't think they're clear.
Obvious mistakes.
Clear, obvious mistakes, no. You can see there is obviously coming together, but as I said, if you don't give the first one, then I don't see how you can give that one. And this one with a handball, the refs must judge the validity of the hand and the arm's position in relation to what the player is doing in that situation.
That is actually covered in the law in those situations, absolutely. And it says it's not a handball.
So I don't think that's a handball. This one right here.
I'm not sure.
No, listen, in this, you can't be going up with your arm like that. No. Tavares, there's nothing, no question about that. I can't understand why his arm's up there.
That one's correct in my,
absolutely,
in my opinion. And this was such a pivotal point in the
massive
game, wasn't it?
Ramsdale's reaction.
Yeah. But this one here.
Come on.
I mean,
how's he not get sent off?
I don't know how this is not a red card. Look, the ball is actually 6 yards away. You can't even see Bruno.
Watch the
ball's
watch.
Gone. Look,
there's the ball. He's not even in the picture. So if he's going, look. Why don't you stop? Why don't you stop?
I know. I must say that's got to be a red card, isn't it?
Whoever's doing VAR should not be able to do VAR. Look at him. Look where the ball is. Yeah. Whoever's doing VAR, they shouldn't let that person do it again.
Yeah. That's a poor decision. That should have been a red.
Terrible decision.
No doubt about that. And Craig Pawson's there looking at it. He's only 5 or 6 yards away. And that was the
possible offside in the in lines of sight of the goalkeeper.
I think because of the distance, they also said that I think it's Lindelof who's also in front is in his own teammate's eye line as well. So I think that's why they have allowed that.
Some incredible comments, not only from Ralph Rangnick, but Scott McTominay. He says he's seething. He says it's embarrassing. Ralph Rangnick says that's it in terms of top four. What did you make of your former club today, Owen?
Pretty much the same as they've been. He's right, actually. Ralph was right. They were better than they were last week, but still it's not good enough. You know, you're celebrating the fact that you were better than last week, and that was dreadful. So they did play a bit better today, but they're miles off us. And Scott's fuming now, he's cooking, but they should have had that attitude months ago. You know, they did play with a bit more urgency, and that was better to see. But still, they're lacking in so many areas. And look, top four is over. It's amazing that they've had a chance still to be there the way they've played all season.
McTominay's comments, Ledley, were quite eye-opening in many respects. What's that say about the United dressing room for you right now?
Well, he's a local lad. You know, he's a Man United fan.
Yeah.
It means a lot to him. I'm sure it means a lot to his family, his friends. And you can see that in that interview there. And for me, that's not about players not having enough quality, things like that. There's a lack of effort. This player's not doing enough for him. And that's what I think is hurting him.
Yeah. He spoke about the need to start quickly. So to fall behind for United after 2 minutes, 14 seconds, in the way that they did, Nuno Tavares at the far post. Yeah. But what about the defending in the build-up to it for you, Ledley?
Yeah, well, you know, if you look at Tavares here, you know, he's the one who doesn't stop. He's anticipating, and Darlow's, look at him sleeping. He's left it too late, and it's just moments like that. It's switch off for a second. Look at Darlow here.
But even Ledley, Varane can clear that. Tellers can do better than that. I mean, De Gea makes a good save, and he's done that all season.
I mean,
But you're right. Initially, it's Varane, then it's Tellers, then it's Darlow switches off of the back post. Credit Tavares, to be fair, as a fullback running in there, you know, because sometimes you get a chance at the back post, and it was there for him.
But I'll tell you what, one thing about bad defending is you can't follow it up with more bad defending. We've seen there one defender make a mistake, then the next one's making a mistake, followed by another one, and that's not good enough.
Yeah, and that's having made 5 changes, 2 of which to the back line, to try and get rid of himself of those kind of defensive mistakes. And it shows you how much United have now conceded. This is becoming a real problem now for them. 51 in the Premier League, the most they've ever conceded in the Premier League era. Actually, that is the worst of the last one is 54, the most. So they are just 3 away from matching that. And they've only got, 5 games left of this season? If they're not careful, they're going to be breaking that.
Well, I mean, for anybody that's watched Manchester United, whether it's over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I don't think anybody can remember a season like this, you know, where there's probably been a handful of performances you say were of the level that you would normally see. So in terms of goal conceded, miles off. In terms of goal scoring, you know, they need to be better as well. So there's so many areas that they need to fix, and that's why I said to you, I'm amazed that they're actually still within touching distance of the top 4, because in terms of the numbers and all these different things, and visually watching it, it's been a really, really difficult season.
Ledley, you're in a good place to judge this. Are United's defenders better than the 51 goals they've conceded this season?
They should be. I mean, on paper, if you're talking about Maguire, Varane, Luke Shaw, the England fullback, Wan-Bissaka, then of course these are all top players, so yeah, it should be better than that.
Yeah, okay. As for the game itself, there was a shout for a penalty for Manchester United. We are going to go through some contentious decisions in this game. There was lots for referee Craig Pawson to get his head around. And what did you make of this one?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many issues in the game, and this was a moment where United obviously on the get back in on the counter. Yeah. I mean, I think, I'll be honest, if you're in that position like Cedric and you know somebody's driven by you, he's meant that. You know, to me, that was on purpose, not his hand's in the position, it's hit his hand. He knew exactly what he's doing, didn't he, Ledley?
No, I think he's got nowhere to go there. He can't fall on his face. You know, he's using his arms to protect himself.
Look, I think I've been there.
I'm in Tottenham as well, so you know. I'll say something.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Put those lily white goggles aside.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I'm saying
it could have been easily. I mean, I think if you're in that position, players are clever. You know, he knows what's going to happen. He knows, and you just, you know, you put your arm down. You know, I know what Ledley's saying. The fact he's got to brace himself, but I think he was more worried about stopping an attack than he was about bracing himself.
Yeah, we did get a penalty, but for Arsenal. But it was interesting the way this came about. Eddie Nketiah actually thought he'd scored. This was ruled out via VAR because of offside. But VAR had looked, before the offside had come into play, that there'd been a foul on Saka by Taint. What do we think?
What do you think, Ledley?
Well, for me, it's not a penalty.
Well, that's the offside, first of all.
Yeah,
that's the offside.
So that has to be addressed, yeah. But before it got to that situation, before Nketiah was in the offside position, there was the foul.
Yeah.
Just here.
I mean, for me, former defender, I find it cheap. I find it a little bit cheap.
He's got nowhere to go,
away from it. Yeah, and touches away from, whether it's a touch or whether it's accidental, it's gone miles away from him.
Yeah.
It's not like the ball's dropped in front of him when he's touched it. So, yeah.
Soft, but I tell you what, that young kid, after what happened in the summer with England, and then, you know, taking the penalty against Chelsea and now against Manchester United, I mean, you got to love that, you know, for him to have the confidence to go and do that, get rid of that bad experience. People miss, it's fine. Go and take the penalty. He's always got a smile on his face, so credit to him.
Talking about overcoming challenges, I think it's fair to say Ronaldo has had to do just that the last few days. And our thoughts, of course, to him and his family. What we saw at Anfield with the tribute was incredible. And he's capped what's happened a tough week for him by getting on the score sheet just before half-time. This actually brought the contest, in many respects, back into the reckoning, right? It was all there to be decided going into half-time.
And it's typical Ronaldo, you know, a real poacher in the box, on the move. It's poor defending by Gabriel, who can't let him get in behind him. He's got to keep him in front. But it's a great finish, great technique, just guiding it in.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably where he feels at his best, where he's at home. You know, he's had probably one of the most difficult weeks of his whole life for him and his family.
Yeah.
But, you know, look, he's the ultimate pro. He wants to play and he wants to score goals, and he did that. The problem is for United, the only two real consistent things are Cristiano at the top of the pitch and David De Gea in goal, and the rest has been difficult.
He continues to reach milestones. His 100th Premier League goal for Manchester United, the fourth player at United to do so.
I mean, the man just...
We shouldn't be surprised.
He just breaks record all the time. So it was hat-tricks not long ago. Now it's another 100 goals, 100 in La Liga, 100 in the Premier League. I think the first player to ever do that. So he's just a machine. He just produces the numbers. It's a shame he came here. United was second. You hope that he could kick them on. And they've taken a huge step back. But didn't go the way they planned. But he's still producing at his, age 36? It's remarkable.
2-1 at half-time. United get a penalty in the second half, and this is the pivotal moment. There's very little debating the actual decision itself, though, for you, Ledley. This is handball, clearly, isn't it?
It's a clear penalty. Penalty. And
What's he doing?
I really have no idea what he's doing.
Not thinking.
You know, things like that drive managers absolutely crazy. He's a young lad. We know that, and I suppose it's a young lad's kind of mistake. But it could have been costly.
Young man with the mistake, experienced taking the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, he's normally so good in these. I'm not a fan of the technique. I love the Harry Kane one. Couple steps, bang, side netting. This one, I think it just creates an element of doubt if the keeper stops or maybe just freezes you. Normally, he's so good, but you can just see the difference in emotion from Ramsey and Bruno Fernandes. But that was such a pivotal moment in the game when he could have got United back in it, and then all of a sudden the game just changed.
That's his second penalty miss of the season, incidentally, after the one against Aston Villa. But should Ronaldo have taken it, having already scored in that game? And we all know how lethal he is from 12 yards.
It's a difficult one. I think if Fernandes is the penalty taker, I can understand him taking the penalty. I can still understand that, regardless of what happens in the game. He is the penalty taker, so I've got no problem with him stepping up.
What about you, Owen? Some interesting comments from Ralph Rangnick afterwards. Said he spoke to Ronaldo. He said he didn't feel it was right for him to take it.
But again, these are things that happen between the players and the coaches in the dressing room before the game. I'm sure that would have been designated, and that's why Bruno took it. I think probably if you ask most Manchester United fans around the world who they want taking penalty, they'd probably say Cristiano. No disrespect to Bruno, just, he could easily be the guy and nobody would bat an eyelid. And in a way, it takes a lot of the pressure off Bruno Fernandes. He didn't do it, and obviously when you miss it, people are going to ask the question.
Yeah.
And maybe today, with the circumstances that Ronaldo's had during the week, maybe him scoring the first goal, maybe today was the time where you say, Ronaldo, step up and kind of bring us home.
Yeah.
But having said that, as I said, I can see if you're the penalty taker, really, there's no problem with you stepping up and being that.
Do you expect that to change from here on in?
Yeah, I think Ronaldo will be on the penalties. Yeah, I don't see why not. But the problem is, when the season's almost over, that top four, they were right there. This is a game, if they can win it, they're right there. And obviously now it looks really unlikely, especially because they've played a game more. I think they've missed that boat. So it's there won't be much to play for the rest of the season. That's the disappointing thing.
And to compound the penalty miss, Granit Xhaka then scored the third goal for Arsenal to seal it. And in some ways, actually, this has also prompted plenty of debate and the positioning of a couple of players in the eye line of David De Gea and Nketiah just there.
Well, look, first of all, look at all the bodies that Arsenal get forward in the box there. And there's loads of them. There's Martinelli, there's Nketiah, there's Cedric, there's Saka. And you see there, Nketiah, he's in an offside position. Yeah. And he's in an offside position, and basically he's in the exact line of David De Gea. On that angle, we won't see it. On this one coming up, we will. David De Gea has to work in a position because of Nketiah and Lindelof. You see him trying to look around the corner. He's trying to look around the corner to see the ball. And the problem is when he looks the other side, you see it there. That's Nketiah, and that's Lindelof. It's too late. That affects him. That affects his line of sight. Nketiah's offside. That goal shouldn't have stood.
No, agreed. He's in the eye line of the goalkeeper. But looking at it from the other side of the table, Man United, they come out of the box so slowly. There's no urgency to get out there. If they sprint out, I'm sure that goal doesn't get past them. Look at McTominay in that position. He's so slow to react and get out and clear the box and give the keeper time to see.
It's a fifth defeat in 8 for Manchester United in all competitions. And if Erik ten Hag's announcement in midweek was there to soften the blow, Owen, as to what happened against Liverpool, does that put the players back into sharp focus?
They've been drifting, for months, Manish. I think everybody just wants the season to be over. Tried to get the announcement with Ten Hag, who's after the difficult performance against Liverpool and the result. And I think it changes the narrative. Rather than talk about, the football and the tactics and the bad performances, you talk about the positive of a new manager and all that. But still, the guy's got to finish the season strong. The manager's watching, the new manager's watching. You're playing for a place next season. Fans are still, they want to see a performance. Okay, they put in a better physical performance, but the deficiencies compared to the top teams, and that's where Man United want to be, is stark to see every match day.
Ledley, do you agree this season can't come soon enough now, the end of the season for United?
Yeah, I agree. They need to make changes. They need to bring people in, players in. They need to get rid of players. It needs freshening up. And like Owen said, they didn't necessarily play bad today, but they're just stale, and there's no cohesion within the team, and it's very difficult to switch it on when you want it.
Yeah, okay. So that win for Arsenal meant that they went 3 points clear in that final Champions League position. As to see where we are in the race for the top 4, we've been saying it on more than one occasion. It feels like 4th is a position that nobody's really trying to get a grasp of. Arsenal right now, they're in pole position. They've got 60 points. Spurs behind them, just 2 points behind. United 6 adrift. You said already, Owen, they're out of the reckoning, and therefore West Ham might well be in a similar position. Does it all boil down to the North London derby? Ledley, for you?
It's going to be huge. It's difficult to say. It's when you look at the fixture list, it's so difficult because you don't know which teams. Well, we know that Everton at the moment are really struggling. Burnley are, and what point we're going to meet them at, or what point Arsenal are going to meet them at, is going to make a huge difference. But no doubt, whoever can get 3 points in that game, Tottenham, Arsenal, is going to be the favourites.
It's not as if that needs any more added spice, is it?
No,
North London derby.
Never.
Who's your favourite to finish 4th, Owen?
Well, it's going to be Arsenal now. And I mean, for Tottenham now, after the performance today, that game is must win. But the bigger problem they have is they got Liverpool. Liverpool away. No, you don't win there. It's a fortress. And to be fair, I think in a way that fixture could suit them because Liverpool are going to play.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And they'll have great space to break into. So they're not a team that makes the game, controls the ball and passes between the lines. That's not them. They want teams to come at them like City and Liverpool, and they can hit them on the back. So it could work, but both teams have been so inconsistent. But Arsenal definitely in the driving seat with looking at the fixtures.